Good day YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is Menon again. In this episode I'm going to show you how to cook sambar. As you all know, sambar is an important dish that is its origin from southern India. In this video I will show you how to cook sambar right from the scratch without using a sambar powder, making our own sambar masala. To make the sambar masala or the sambar powder, the ingredients that you need is half cup of coconut, which is grated, half of 1 sprig of curry leaves. Then you have the other ingredients here: 2 tablespoons of split chickpeas, then 1 tablespoon of fenugreek seeds or Vindium, 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil to fry these ingredients, 4 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 2 or 3 thin slices of onions, 8 dry red chilies. Towards the end of frying, I'll be adding the ASAFOETIDA or cayenne or hing, about half a teaspoon. Once the pan is hot, add the oil and add all the other ingredients. So I have 1 sprig of curry leaves here. I'll be adding only half of it. Half a cup of coconut, then 4 tablespoons of coriander seeds, thinly sliced onions, 2 or 3 pieces, 1 tablespoon of fenugreek seeds, and 2 tablespoons of split bengal gram or chickpeas. Also finally the 8 dried red chilies. One important thing that you remember is make sure that your coconut doesn't get burned at the end of your frying. So this will take roughly about 5 minutes for the coconut to get golden brown, and that's when I add the ASAFOETIDA, about half a teaspoon, before I switch off the pan. I'm frying the masala in medium flame, and as I'm frying, I'm getting the nice aroma that's coming out of it. So you can see the coconut, you can see that it has almost become brown, so that it has taken nearly 3.5 minutes for it to get there. At this point I'll reduce the flame and add the ASAFOETIDA or cayenne or hing. So that's I'm adding half a teaspoon of ASAFOETIDA powder. If you have ASAFOETIDA paste, that will do as well. Now you can see that the masala is nice and brown. I'm going to switch off the stove. So I will leave this aside for 5 minutes to cool down before I blend it with water in my blender. While I'm waiting, I would like to cook my dal. For that, I'm taking 1.5 cups of water to cook half cup of dal. So the dal that I use to cook sambar is the tuar dal or tuar dal or tuara paripa. So it looks a bit different from the other forms of dal. You can see that it's a bit smaller and flatter. So that's half cup of tuar dal into the water and let it boil. It takes a while for the tuar dal to cook, so you can cook it in pressure cooker as well. So once the dal is cooked, I'll add my veggies to it and the masala and some tamarind. I'll talk you through it as I do it. While the dal is getting cooked, I'm going to make the sambar masala. So you can see that I've put the masala into my blender, and to this I'm going to add half a cup of water and blend it until I get a fine paste out of it. That's the blended masala. It smells really good, and we can see that it has come out as a fine paste. Make sure you don't add too much of water as you blend the masala, because if you add too much of water to it, it may not blend well. You can always add more water before you mix the masala with rest of the sambar, so that it doesn't get clumped as you pour it into the sambar. That the dal is getting cooked and it's getting a bit dried, so I'm going to add 1 more cup of water to it and stir it well. You can add as much water as you want as you're cooking the dal, because you will be adding your veggies to the same water once the dal is cooked. Okay, next thing to do is to soak the tamarind in lukewarm water. So I have tamarind as big as a big gooseberry, so probably I would say 2.5 tablespoons, and I'm soaking this in half a cup of water. You can even use cold water, but I prefer to use warm water. And you make it into a few pieces, and the flavors of the tamarind gets mixed this water, and you'll be adding this water to the sambar before you add the masala to it. So that's how it looks like. You can see that the dal is cooked now. At this point I'll be adding the cut veggies to it with more water, about 2.5 cups of water. So I'll have a nice gravy for the sambar. You can see how it looks like once it is cooked. It took about 20 minutes for me to cook it like this. In a pressure cooker it gets done in 10 minutes. Okay, now you can see the veggies there. You can use whatever vegetables you like, but I'm using lady's finger here. I have nearly 10 lady's finger cut into small. Then I have 2 tomatoes chopped, 1 big carrot chopped in circles, and 2 medium-sized potatoes chopped in big pieces. Then about 10 pieces of drumstick, half of an onion sliced. To cook this, I have 1 tablespoon of red chili powder, half a tablespoon of turmeric powder, and I'll be adding some salt to taste. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll be adding water. Okay, the next step is to add the veggies to the dal. So I'm going to add one by one. So I'm adding the potatoes first. All the potatoes, then the carrot, then drumsticks and lady's finger. I'll be adding the tomatoes after 10 minutes of cooking, because otherwise it gets really mashed and sloppy. Also the chopped onions to be added. And now to this I'm adding water. Now the red chili powder, then the turmeric powder and some salt. I'm going to increase the flame. Now you can see how it looks like. It's almost 10 minutes since I've started cooking the veggies. To this I'm going to add the tomatoes, and also I'm going to add the tamarind juice to it. So this is the tamarind that we soaked earlier. I've strained it and transferred to a different container. And now you stir it well and let it boil for another couple of minutes. You can see the nice color of the sambar. So it is a couple of minutes since I've added the tamarind juice. To this I'm going to add the sambar masala. You can see that it looks a bit watery now because I diluted it. Stir it well, and I'll be adding another cup of water to it. So I'll have a nice gravy. So another cup of water, just to wash the bowl with the masala in it. I will cook for probably another 3 to 4 minutes and let the water get dried a bit before I switch off the stove. Now you can see that the sambar is boiling. To this I'm adding 1 teaspoon of jaggery that is finely chopped to give us a nice flavor to the sambar. Stir it well. So I'm going to switch off the stove in a minute, and then we'll temper the sampar with curry leaves and mustard seeds and dried red chilies. Okay, now the final part of cooking sambar is tempering. To temper the sambar you need mustard seeds and curry leaves as well as dried red chilies. For this I'm using 2 tablespoons of mustard seeds, then 4 dried red chilies, 2 sprigs of curry leaves, and 2 tablespoons of oil to fry these. Now to a hot pan add the oil and 2 tablespoons of mustard seeds to it. Wait until the mustard seeds starts to splutter. Okay, now we can see that the mustard seeds have started to splutter. So I'm reducing the flame and adding the dried red chilies to it and the curry leaves. Stir it well, wait for a minute, and then you add it to the cooked sambar. Okay, this is fried for a couple of minutes now. Now I'm going to transfer this to the sambar. Stir it well and transfer to a serving bowl. So that's the sambar. You all should try this at home. I know that it's a bit time consuming, but it's worth trying. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'll be back with more videos. Thank you.